Welcome into Prop 5 on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. I'm Ethan Skolnick. You can follow me at Ethan J. Skolnick and at 5 Reasons Sports. I got Eric Wadicki. You can follow him at Eric Wadicki on Twitter X. We've also got David Eversole producing. Make sure you check out the picks from our entire team. We'll be loading them up today on Twitter. Be retweeting them from the 5 Reasons Sports Twitter account. Also, we've got a Better Edge contest today on Dolphins and Jaguars. So make sure that you check that one out as well. All right, make sure also, I keep saying make sure, use the code 5, F-I-V-E. Put down $5. You will get $50 to play right away. That's their new promotion for all of football season and perhaps beyond, but make sure that you get in it now. It's better than the old one. You get a 10-1 match. You can play the money right away. So full NFL slate today, including Dolphins, Jags. Use the code 5, F-I-V-E. Download PrizePicks from PrizePicks.com or the Google Play or Apple App Store. All right, Eric, let's get to it. Dolphins props, one of those things that probably people should have gotten in a week ago on some of these. So I'll go through them. First, in terms of what we know, Hill's playing, Waddle's playing, Tua's playing, Mostert's playing, Devon Chan is playing. I'm never going to get that right. So they've got the full complement with the exception of being a little bit thin at receiver beyond their top three. So, Eric, let's start with Hill. 98.5 receiving yards. It was 89.5. For a few days, they propped it up by 9. I don't know if the new contract had anything to do with that, or where that's at. Would you play anything? I don't even see it on there now. Did they get it? Is it off the board? Hold on a second. I'm like David's scrolling through it. They take it off the board?
The receiving yards at 98.5.
Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. It's on the left side. My eyes are bad. Okay. Yeah. So 98.5 receiving yards, half of rushing a receiving touchdown. And then, of course, they have 10.5 receiving targets. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do there. And 28.5 longest reception. Would you play Tyreek Hill today? Oh. I think Eric's frozen or I'm frozen.
So I liked
Tyreek Hill. Eric, I think you're frozen. I think you're frozen. Hold on. All right, let's pivot back here. I'm sorry. I think Eric's internet connection went on us here a little bit. There we go. All right, we'll come back. All right, so let me go through some of the props here, some ones that I like before Eric comes back. Again, Hill, 98.5 receiving yards. That's a little rich, I think, for my blood today. Eric, you back?
Yep.
All right,
so long story short, I like Tyreek in a vacuum, but considering some of the other numbers that I see for the Dolphins on the board today, I like those more. And so okay. I would probably stay away from Hill in that case.
All right. So give me one that you like more.
I mean, considering the fact that Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are kind of your only two healthy receiving threats in the wide receiver room this week. For example, I'm looking at Devon Achane at over 22.5 receiving yards in this one. Mm-hmm. I think he goes over that number by quite a bit today. There's just not that many options, and I think he's going to kind of be their de facto third wide receiver.
It's fair. 22.5 receiving yards. Achane's also at 54.5 rushing yards, 11 rushing attempts, 3.5 receiving targets. Seems light. I'm with you on that. I might play that one. I can tell you the guy that I think will eat up a lot of these targets tonight is Jonnu Smith. He's 2.5 was it 2.5 receptions, I believe?
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna play. Yeah, I think that's people who haven't really followed the team during the preseason, and the fact that again Tua will use the tight end. Last year, Durham Smythe was third in the league, third in the team in targets. So I'm looking at some of the Smith targets. I mean, 3 receiving targets. I like that. They're gonna throw the ball today. I mean, even the half for rushing a receiving touchdown feels like something that could hit. But I'm going to play the 2.5 receptions. I think that's an easy one. I mean, Tua is going to have 25 completions. They got to go to someone, like you said. So I'm with you on that. All right, so let's get to the big one then. Would you play Tua?
Yes, I would play Tua. I think his passing yards is 269.5. I'd go over on that.
Okay, I would too. I feel stronger about the Smith one. Actually, yes, you're right. 268.5. 23 pass completions, 33.5 pass attempts, 18 fantasy score, half an interception. I hate to say it, but I might play that over. There'll be one. There'll be one. and completion percentage 66.9. They've got new props on here this year. They have. I don't remember them doing completion percentage. I remember them doing first 10 passes, how many completions, and I hit that 6.5 over like all season long. Like with him on that play script, like that's early in the game. That's easy money. But yeah, it's so 66.9%. It's a high number. I mean, he's got to make not more than 2 out of 3. But if he's having a decent game, he'll hit that. All right, let's go over to the Jags. Do you see anything there?
So for the Jags side, I'm not 100% certain about the Dolphins front seven. I think it remains to be seen how effective they're going to be. So I like Travis Etienne over 59.5 rushing yards.
Okay. I like that. Another thing I like is I like some of the Evan Ingram props. I don't really know where this linebacker core is going to be right now.
Yep.
This one, 17.5 receiving yards in the first 2 receptions. I feel like that's a hit, and you can get that one out of the way pretty easily. Gabe Davis has had some games against the Dolphins too, although it's a different Dolphins defense and different Dolphins corners, but he has had some games against them. The other one I kind of like is Josh Allen over 1/4 of a sack.
Yeah,
he'll be involved if they get one. He's the only defensive player that I spotted on the board for Jacksonville, so that's the guy that I would look at them. I would look at a defensive prop for them. I'll tell you one I like under Trevor Lawrence, 64.5 completion percentage. I think he goes under. I think he goes under. I think they're gonna disguise some looks at him, and I think confuse him a little bit. He'll hit some plays, but I think I would go under on that. Would you play Trevor over the 253.5 pass yards?
Ooh, I mean, I think I would if I had to play it. I probably wouldn't, but I would lean towards the over if I had to, just because I think that I think it's one of those games where he might complete maybe 56, 57% of his passes, but he hits on some big ones.
I can see that too. Let's go to the rest of the board here. I've got a couple of props that I really like. First thing, the Marvin Harrison Jr. prop. I just think he's going to come out of the gate flying.
Yep.
As a rookie, I think it was 58.5. I would play that one over. And our old friend Josh Allen, 33.5 rushing yards. They don't have the complement of receivers this year. He's going to have to run the ball. 33.5 is a half for him against what should be a pretty leaky Arizona defense. So I'm going to play the Josh Allen. You can see that. Clear that easily. Feels like a low number. He's their offense. He's their offense, and they're gonna hit him and Cook, and they're gonna play through him. What else do you see on the board around the league?
So around the league, there's a couple that I really like. I like James Cook over 2.5 receptions against the Cardinals for a Buffalo team that doesn't have much at the skill positions. And then I like Anthony Richardson over 1.5 passing, rushing, and receiving touchdowns. It feels like I think he goes 1 passing, 1 rushing pretty easily against Houston.
Another one I like, Breece Hall, over the half rush or receiving touchdown. Going to be I don't know that Rodgers can sling it the way he used to sling it. So I feel like he's going to use Hall as an outlet option. So I like that one. And again, I mentioned the Marvin Harrison Jr. That's actually gone up to 67.5. I'd still play it. And I would play Justin Jefferson over 82.5 receiving yards. Talk about somebody who is a large portion of their offense right now. Going to have to get him the ball in space. So I like Justin Jefferson there too. All right. So those are some of our props. Make sure you check out Big Picks Energy as well. Use that code 5, FIVE. Jump in here early. But again, on some of the ones that I actually played, Jonnu Smith to me is a given. What was that between a decision between Kamara and Etienne? One's interesting. I don't know what the Dolphins' run defense is going to look like because you had Christian Wilkins there in the middle, and I feel like they acclimated well to the scheme this time. But I don't know. They might get Etienne out in space. I'm still the front seven for the Dolphins. I have to see it. I've got to see. It's just so different. It's so and I don't know if Phillips is 100% healthy either. Even as remarkable as his comeback, I might play Etienne today. He's had some games against the Dolphins as well, so I think that's a reasonable. I think that's a reasonable play today. So that's our advice.
Yeah.
On that. All right. Thanks, Eric. We appreciate it. Use the code 5, FIVE. pregame show. We'll have yard prep today, also the final yard. I'll be at the stadium. You can also, I'm sure the Inside Leverage guys are going to do a Spaces. So plenty of Dolphins coverage today on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, David.
Thanks, guys.